The Night Stalker is a made-for-TV movie about Karl Kolchak, a journalist who's been kicked out of several newspapers, who suspects a recent string of murders is the work of a vampire who has arrived into Las Vegas. I like watching 70s TV movies every now and again. I've mentioned in the past that the grainy aesthetic is pleasing on the eyes, but it also feels like quite an innocent decade for TV films. Cinematic movies were really pushing the boundaries at the time. Some of the best films of all time were made in the decade, but TV movies had an innocence about them, a keenness to simply entertain the viewer, something that can be surprisingly sidelined today to make way for preachiness of social topics. Among other things you just don't really need in mainstream films. Kolchak is quite an endearing fellow. You can see how he'd be annoying to the city's police captain and the mayor with his insistence on sticking his nose in everywhere, but you learn to like him and eventually love him with his wisecracks, straw hat and funky shoes. Kolchak goes about his business and narrates the film like he's a detective from a 1940s noir flick. The rest of the cast were all on point, and the guy who they got to play the vampire did a swell job at creating a creepy, sinister character, even with no dialogue. He's mystical and enigmatic throughout most of the film, but there's an animalistic, ravenous quality to his performance that makes you think that this thing isn't really human. It's quite a charming movie. The location adds to the effect, the look of the movie as well. The vampire stuff is also approached straightforwardly, and it gives the film an air of authenticity. There's no real special effects or supernatural stuff going on. Quite simply, a vampire is loose in town and needs to be stopped, 1970s style. The Night Stalker is a good little thriller, a short one at about 1 hour and 15 minutes. It has an entertaining protagonist, a creepy bad guy, a cool setting, and is bookended with a strong ending including a smart little twist. I give it a 7 out of 10.